What's up, folks? We are live and loud. Live and loud on July 22nd, 2025. It's my YouTube birthday today, you guys. I think, let me check to make sure. I think it is. July 22nd, 2009. TV2 Live is 16 years old today. Can you believe that shit? Fucking 16 years, man. If I could have just gained a subscriber a day, one a week. How many weeks is 16 years? Be nice. 52 in a year, right? Something like that. 10 years would be 520. Yeah, so, you know, whatever. 800 subs. If I could have got a subscriber, 2 subscribers a week for 16 years, I'd have more than I do now. Cheers to you, B. Did you pick avocados today, lady? Did you pick TV some avocados? Those are good, you know, in a lot of ways. they supposedly are one, like, and I can't be 100% sure about this, but they are supposedly one of very few or the only natural food or whatever that can reduce, help with prostate inflammation. So, thought that was pretty cool. Avocados are tomorrow. Whatever. I think B's fucking blowing me off. Tomorrow should be like, yeah, TV, it was raining and blah blah blah. I'll get you some avocados though. Mine is too, B. Don't get me started, girl. Like, God, 16 years I've done really well at not letting out my fucking completely filthy self. The completely filthy side of TV, too. I can be a horny old bastard. Nothing like a good prostate massage. All right. I know, right, B? Like, trust me, sister, I am sensitive to as much as a guy can be to, you know, the things that women have to deal with, right? Various physical issues or you know what I mean. Maintenance. But try fucking walking around with this shit hanging between your legs all the time. Do you know what it's like to fucking sit on your testicles? B needs somebody needs to fucking remove B because she's provocative. Come on, B, give me a break. You know how easy I am. I'm all about yapping about anything. B, you know I will talk to you about anything, but I don't know why you're fucking so wound up about prostates today. I know. That's where shit should be. It's fucking... Oh. I know every guy has the story about racking their jewels. Too many times. I think the last time was my young teenage son took me out by accident. We were living room wrestling, and he went to kick somewheres, I'm sure, and not at my diamonds. But because I'm fucking lightning fast, I moved in the wrong direction, and he fucking put me down. That was it. I'm like down there barely breathing. Take the kill blow, you dummy. I'm like, I'm probably going to be able to get back on my feet within the next 3 or 4 minutes. You better be able to pack your bags in that amount of time. Anyways, we cover everything here. TV2 Live. Thanks to our very curious and informative chat crew like Be Nice. B, did you see the presser today? I was out in the field for a little while, but I caught it when I took my lunch. All right. I think I was I think I was too hard on B. She left. Even though I know she gets my sarcasm. There she is. B says she's been busy. Do tell. I'm going to tell, sister. We're going to do one of TV2's fucking absolutely browbeating, redundant breakdowns of the Trump presser today. I think it totals like 30 minutes, and we'll see if I can get through it. We'll see if I can get through it all. You got to add, on average, like fucking 5 minutes to every minute for me to tear it apart, because I just have... Look, I don't claim to be, the most alert or aware fella in the world. I never have. That's why it always blows my mind when the chuds say I come off as arrogant. It's like, how do I come off as arrogant? I'm sure of what I'm sure of, which isn't really all that much, Nobody ever knows all of everything, not even close. I do my best to avoid... I think maybe they mean that because I don't follow all the absolutely fucking crazy, fucking ridiculous, dangerous conspiracy bullshit. And trust me, I have all kinds of other fucking nouns I could pull up for the shit that these guys follow and believe in. There was some dork. Oh, there's a new John Doe Jr., a new chud screen name. God damn it. Just like that, it's out of my head. God damn it. Anyways, I forgot what the hell he was Alright, that's irritating. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, the do weapons. Like, I haven't seen... I'm usually the one that brings it up to Tide when I have to remind him what a fucking quack he is. How Lahaina was a fucking land grab. All the natural disasters are according to the fucking chunkity bunk dunks. I'm going to tell you, I try to drag my feet, Beeb, a little bit once I start these streams because I know that I'm not like a super sought after YouTuber. So after a while we tend to get... I'm starting these earlier. It really, the 8 o'clock time slot is best, I feel. Or maybe it just takes folks a while to get here. It's not like, we don't ever have big crowds, but I'm happy if we have a dozen folks watching, then it obviously starts reaching other people. But the 8 o'clock time slot for our time zone seems to be ideal for like the Nate, you know what I mean? Like, it's only, what the fuck time is it? 7:15, so it's only 4:15 on the West Coast, right? and that's pretty early. But I don't mind streaming late. I get antsy, and I don't want, and especially I know when I'm like, okay, ready to go. If I put it off for too long, like an hour 15 minutes, hour and a half, my whole fucking mindset can change by the time I go live. So B says she has nothing going on. Yeah, me neither, sister. That's why I'm doing this. 'Cause all I wanna do is chew some gum. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. See, if I start going off on this other shit, though, then I'm gonna be... then I'm just gonna be right out of the fucking politics frame of mind. B, I know you like some good music, or I know we share some interest in some music. A-Golf has inspired the hell out of me. And I mean, the dude's, it's fucking ridiculous. He's so fucking goddamn humble about it. Like, I feel like we've had to fucking drag it out of him. I mean, the dude's a music major. You know, and every once in a great while he'd mention playing this instrument or that instrument, and it's like, that's a lot of instruments, you know? And it's not, I mean, I've known him for years and years now, and he's never given any reason for anybody to distrust. Like I said, if somebody was going to be a fucking boasting bastard, they would just be on it 24/7. And I feel like we've had to drag the musician out of Jay, even though it's who he is. Just like with me, I mean. But I've gotten into a lot of more world music. Like, Put a Mile world music specifically is a great place to get it. It's endless good grooves. But the tribal shit, the African beats, the last couple years, you know, really just listening to and giving more and more different jazz a chance, and like mixed music too, like DJs. I love some of that shit. I really do. Like the fucking techno beats or whatever the fucking proper label is. But I can't get some of that shit out of my mind. So last night I came up with this. I haven't been able to come up with anything new for a while, and I never try to press it. And too often I sit here, I'll get all set up and I'll go, nope, tonight this ain't the night either, and I'll force myself to noodle around on guitar, and shit don't come out, and then all of a sudden it does, you know. So, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. You want to hear? That's about it. That's about it so far. Yeah, a little bit, but no. Yeah, we have me and the kid have a little bit of work, but no, that's not. I'm still. It's like jack of all trades. Not really all the same type of work, but yeah, I have some of my own accounts. I work for a buddy when I get desperate or he does. And then, yeah, me and the kid doing his thing. It's the kid's business. He set it all up, but obviously, yeah, I'm helping him out a lot with the administrative part of it. He's 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 a character, B. Like the two youngest kids are very unique perspective and understanding and takes on life. He's a character, B. He's so fucking quiet. It's stupid. I mean, he'd probably kill me like if I tried to go up and fucking give him a hug on the cheek. Whereas our middle son and my oldest son too, he does he expects it, but my middle son, he's all about it. My boy is in the Navy, bigger than he's the only one that's taller than me of the three boys. He's all about it. Give me a big fat hug and kiss, Dad. My oldest son, he'll just smile and fucking let me love on him. But my youngest boy, he is just that kid's brain just works overtime. He just fucking gets it. It makes me sick sometimes because he isn't motivated by society or things. I mean, he always does well for himself. He does like to make his money. I can't say that. It's just I don't know. He really dives deep into what he loves, and he seems to absorb a lot of anything he tries. It's pretty cool. Am I sounding like that fucking dad now? Bill says, I don't think that's... Why not, brother? I'm sub to her. I have been. I'm not sub to her. It's got to be B. Bill, what's going on, brother? I know B, she wouldn't take offense to it at all that we're double checking. No, I said there's no way I would not know by now. I yap with her every day. Maybe not to great lengths some days, but there was one of you folks that I think consider family member, even though, B hasn't been around with all of us forever, but I love her to death. Um and I'm like it was one of our long timers, right? Old timers, and I'm like, this is odd. Maybe it was Retzi. She just because you guys know how text is, anyways. And I don't always fucking read shit right or like comprehend things properly in text because that's another again advantage you guys have, a good one. Like you always get to whenever you watch, you're getting more and more familiar with my voice inflection and emphasis and body language. So when we're just talking in text, you probably understand me or where I'm coming from. Bezos, go, Elon, go. But I've had some folks that I know some of you guys one or two times. I would just, I guess, in a different weird mood, maybe I don't even know necessarily, because sometimes I can be pretty fucking shitty, like just really raw about the Trump stuff when I'm pissy. But they're like, that's not TV, and I'm like, it's me, for fuck's sake. Nah, it's all good, Bill. Bill, we deal with a lot of fucking freaks, so it's good that you're, looking out for the channel, looking out for B. What do you guys think? Should we fire? Are you guys ready? You want to hear fire up that? Should I fire up that Trump presser? This is going to be. I'm going to try, okay? I have to minimize the F-bombs just because there's really no need for it. And I have to try not to be irate and start fucking pointing down the Trumpers who aren't here or whatever. I mean, mostly this was funny. It wasn't all that infuriating. I would have liked to done some fucking fact checking, but I mean, this was a pretty holy loony. There's some moments. It's honestly, it's rare that I watch these ahead of time and then pick them apart like this. Very rare. Usually if I do it, it's because or pick it apart, it's I might have caught a couple minutes of the beginning or something, or somebody say something, mention that it was really out of control, and then I'll just bring it up and go with the flow. But I still don't have anything scripted. It's not that bad. B, like he has, as far as I didn't see all of it, but I reviewed most of it. It's like there's no really sick, disgusting moments. Too bad, again, but I only went through it quick once, so, and not even all of it, but yeah. Jay says he was hella cloned until he started blocking my clone myself because he just wanted my attention in particular. Yeah, that's why I stopped. There's some I have to stop dealing with, like Dave Incel. Like, he's an instant block. Bully, I just block because, and Bully I got under his skin by not paying attention to him more recently. You guys probably seen him take my actual fucking picture and put a MAGA hat on it. But he let it go because I just block him because he's been such a long time troll. And Chaos, I don't block whatever. I may have some accounts he's blocked on. Most of them that, like the couple that I use over there, I don't have them blocked, but most of the time I don't talk to him, and he just irritates the shit out of him. All right, you guys, here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this presser.
Everybody, it's a great honor to have President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Philippines, a great family legacy, and highly respected in this country. I know that because I have many friends in the Philippines, and there's great respect, or I couldn't say it, so congratulations. We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about war and peace. They're a very important nation militarily, and we've had some great drills lately. We're back with them. I think I can say that the last administration was not getting along with them too well.
See, now this is the sad part on my end, but I do have shit I have to do. I mean, I'm using that as an excuse today. I certainly could have just fucking pounded down and look some stuff up. Like, I am curious as to how much joint military exercises we do with a country like the Philippines, but whatever.
They didn't get along with anybody. They didn't know. Honestly, they didn't know what they were doing. But we have some fantastic military relationships with the Philippines, and that's been reinstituted. And Pete, I would say that you couldn't be happier, right, with the relationship.
Absolutely. Great partners.
So I just want to say it's an honor to have you. We're going to talk about trade today.
Pete says, yeah, Mr. President. Yeah, great partners.
And we're very close to finishing a trade deal, big trade deal actually. And we do a lot of business with you. It's a lot of income coming in for both groups. But I was surprised to see the kind of numbers. They're very big, and they're going to get bigger under what we're doing and what we're proposing. And I just want to thank you for being with us. It's a great honor. You and your representative. It's really a great honor. We have a big announcement. AstraZeneca, the big drug company, is going to spend $50 billion, just announced $50 billion in the United States in order to build various places all over the country.
See, now this is something I didn't catch. So Trump is bragging about Big Pharma. I don't know. I guess, you know, I realize that I'm hammering down on, like, just, you know, punching the fuck out of a jelly bag, right? Like, you're not changing it. It's just jelly. It's just going to keep being jelly. But, like, I guess, I don't know, like, maybe subconsciously I'm thinking that the Trumpers will go, whoa, wait a minute. We're supporting Big Pharma still? Even the fucking Democrats ain't it. I mean, jobs are great. We need medication, but yeah, there's a lot of issues there with me too. But of course, I mean, Trump is absolutely everything that these guys, and he promised to fight against and be the, be their martyr for. You know what I mean? Like the deep state, he's the deep state. Banks, Trump's all about the banks now. It's crazy. I don't know if it's like a slow burn thing, but anyway.
Manufacturing plants, pharmaceutical plants all over the country, so that's an honor. And he said they did that because of the election and because of the fact that the tariffs are placed. So they're building their facilities in New York. $50 billion, that's a big investment. And it's going to be a very good investment. I have no doubt about it. So thank you to AstraZeneca. And with that, I'd like to have you say a few words, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Of course, we're all very happy to be here to once again reaffirm the very strong ties between the Philippines and the United States, ties that go back over 100 years. And considering the context in which we live these days, especially in my part of the world, this has evolved into as important a relationship as is possible to have. We must remember that the United States is our only treaty partner in the Philippines, and that has stood us in good stead over the years, certainly through the Second World War, and the cultural memory of all Filipinos, down to even the school children, is that our strongest, closest, most reliable ally has always been the United States. That is something that we value, that we are grateful for, and that we will continue to foster as we go on. With the leadership of President Trump, I am very confident that we will be able to achieve that. I think it is worthwhile to remember that it was President Trump who, in his first term, characterized the relationship between the Philippines and the United States as ironclad. And that has been necessarily the case since that time that you made that statement, sir. And it is something that the Philippines will always hold close to its heart. Thank you once again, and we are honored, and it is our great pleasure to be here and to visit with the President of the United States. Thank you, sir.
It's my great honor. Any questions?
Mr. President,
Yeah, please, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, do you think that Fed Chair Jerome Powell should resign?
I think he's doing a bad job, but he's going to be out pretty soon anyway. In eight months, he'll be out. But I call him
This is crazy now because Jerome Powell's sitting right next to him.
too late. He's too late all the time. He should have lowered interest rates many times. Europe lowered their rate 10 times. We lowered ours none. And it's caused.
I don't know how much of this financial craziness I'll get a little bit because Trump says some really fucking funsy, neatsy stuff.
It's like a problem for people that want to buy a home. Look, our economy is so strong now, we're blowing through everything. We're setting records. You know that, you see that. And whether it's the Philippines or anyone else, we're setting records at levels that nobody's ever seen before. But you know what?
Records of what? He says our economies, we're blowing through records. What does he mean by that? I mean, the stock market's strong, and I guess that's it. I mean, thankfully, there hasn't been a clear indication of a recession or unemployment rates going through the roof.
People aren't able
Yet.
to buy a house because this guy is a numbskull. He keeps a
Oh, my God. All right. B, there's one for, I'll give you one, sister. He just said that Americans can't buy a house because this numbskull, Powell, won't fucking lower rates. Holy fucking Christ.
rates too high, and probably doing it for political reasons. The only time I remember him cutting
Says he's doing it for political reasons. Remember, Trump appointed Powell.
rates. I mean, he cut the rates just before the election to try and help Kamala or whoever he was trying to help. He probably didn't know. And he's building a building. He's $2.7 billion every 9.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know what, honestly, it's like watching those protesters outside the ICE detention facility in LA the other night and talking to those cops being like, you took an oath to the Constitution, or the National Guard there. You took an oath to the Constitution. You have to decide, and I've said that many times too. And yeah, is it easier for someone like me who isn't in that position, who doesn't have a really, really good federal job? But let's be honest, Trump does. I mean, how secure is your job? How much respect are you getting as a federal employee or as someone that serves our nation under Trump? How much is that being appreciated anyways? I mean, how tough is it? I guess maybe I'm sure Jerome Powell is a bigger man than me. He just has to be. Because, I would say, look, purely out of principle, I don't have a lot of money. I'm sure Jerome Powell is doing okay. He's a smart guy, worked hard his whole life. How do you fucking listen to that shit, you guys? Do you remember the Maryland governor and the governor's dinner that Trump held? That's the only time I've seen someone call him out in that way. She said, "I'll see you in court." I mean, I just want to know I just would like someone to explain to me how, am I just being a fucking primal male? And by thinking Jerome should you're a fucking dickweed. You're a fucking dickweed and get escorted out by the Secret Service. Why not?
$100 million overrun What is that? And that was given by Biden. That was another Biden deal. And this guy's building this building that's severely overrun. And what does he need the building for? Why does he need space for more people? So they did a big study the other day, and they called all of the great intellects and the great economists and all of the great everything.
All right, thankfully this will change the tone a little bit. They call all the great intellects, all the great economists, and all the great everything. They called these folks the great intellects. I'm not sure exactly who the great intellects are. I don't know.
It was 71, and only 2 got it right. Me and another gentleman that happens to be very smart. 69 people got it wrong, and the Fed got it wrong, more wrong than anybody. And you know, he has these think tanks, and they build buildings for people that think.
Oh my God. He said the Fed built for think tanks. They build buildings for people that think. I gotta fucking hear that again. Okay, no F's. Slow down on the F-bombs.
Space for more people. So they did a big study the other day, and they called all of the great intellects and the great economists and all of the great everything. It was 71, and only 2 got it right. Me and another gentleman that happens to be very smart. 69 people got it wrong, and the Fed got it wrong, more wrong than anybody. And you know, he has these think tanks, and they build buildings for people that think. And it's really not thinking; it's a little bit of combination of thinking, but it's something you sort of have or you don't have. They don't.
A combination of thinking, and he said it's sort of thinking, but it's really not. It's a combination of thinking and he never gave what it was a combination of.
The job he's done is just terrible. He ought to raise interest rates. You know, we would.
Oh, that was a slip. Can I give Trump one? He said he ought to raise interest rates. What the fuck?
We should be at 1%. We should be leading the world. Instead, we're paying 4%.
1% interest rates. I think, yeah, we can all get behind that, Trump. I wonder if there's a reason why that's not happening. Like anybody in need of or, you know, wishing they could afford, like whatever the percentage, it doesn't take much, as most of you guys know, buying a house, you know, whatever it is. But certainly even just something like taking out a car loan or small as a personal loan. Yeah, lower interest rates are fucking groovy. I wonder why they've never, I don't know. Have interest rates been 1% anytime soon? Anytime recently? For like a house loan? It's insane.
And if you look at what that means, that's over $1 trillion in interest that we have to pay. That with the striking of a pen, we would be saving more than $1 trillion.
This is probably where the Trumpers are like, okay, Daddy, I just believe what you say, because is he talking about the rates that we pay, that America pays on our national debt, right? Is he talking about when he says the rates need to be raised all of a sudden? Is he talking about bond rates? Isn't it connected in the sense that folks, whatever interest rate they may gain on their bank account or their savings? Oh my God. I didn't realize he just spews a lot of bullshit out of his ass, but this is pretty crazy.
Is that right, Scott?
Yes,
Do you have
sir.
anything to say about it?
Yes, sir. I called yesterday and this morning for the Fed.
All right. I apologize. I thought that was Jerome Powell that was sitting there. Besant. Forgive me.
Do a big internal investigation to understand not their monetary policy, but everything else. The Fed has had big mission creep, and that's where a lot of the spending's going. That's why they're building these new or refurbishing these buildings. And I think they got to stay in their lane. And I think that based on the way they cut rates last fall, they should be cutting rates now.
It's inconceivable, I know the Fed very well, that they can be spending $2.7 billion to build a building. They don't do anything. It's the greatest job. You show up one day, a half a day, you make a little speech, the economy's doing well, the economy's not doing well, we're going to raise interest. And he's got it wrong. That's why I call him too late, T-O-O, too late. And it's really too bad. But it is affecting people that want to buy houses, and that shouldn't happen.
And Mr. President.
You know what's affecting people that want to buy houses? The cost of houses.
And he should lower them. Those rates should be 3 points lower. That's what they should be, 3 points lower, maybe more than that.
I would like to ask both of you
Yes.
one question. Mr. President Marcos, next year, Philippines is going to be the rotating chair of ASEAN. I wonder how do you plan to balance your relationship between the United States and China? And for President Trump, Kremlin yesterday said if you are going to Beijing in September, they wouldn't rule out a meeting between you and President Putin. Is such a meeting possible? And how soon do you plan to visit China?
Well, we have a lot of meetings possible. President Xi has invited me to China, and we'll probably be doing that in the not too distant future, a little bit out, but not too distant. And I've been invited by a lot of people, and we'll make those decisions pretty soon. Please.
Well, as you say, we are chairing ASEAN for 2026. There is no need, in a sense, to balance, as you characterize it, to balance our relationship within the United States and China, simply because our foreign policy is an independent one, and we are essentially concerned with the defense of our territory and the exercise of our sovereign rights. Now, whether we do this not alone, we need to do this with our partners. And again, our strongest partner has always been the United States. But of course, we are trying to form coalitions and multilateral relations so that those like-minded nations who share the same values as we do, who hew to the
I guess. I'm not sure that it helps. I just something I've noticed, I guess, is that like even people like Bukaki from El Salvador there, like all the other world leaders that they have a lot to gain, obviously, by coming to the White House, but holy fucking nerves of steel.
into international law.
I mean, you just don't know how shit can turn around, right? Somebody could say one fucking word to trigger Trump, and he'd be fucking all up in fucking the Marcos's grill.
More specifically, the UNCLOS, present that position very clearly to anyone who has intentions of unilaterally changing the world order, and that is how we are guided in that.
And I don't mind if he gets along with China, because we're getting along with China very well. We have a very good relationship. In fact, the magnets, which is a little complex piece of material, but the magnets are coming out, very well. They're sending them in record numbers. We're getting along with China very well, and I don't mind if the president dealt with China, if that's meant, because I think he has to do what's right for his country. I've always said, make the Philippines great again. Do whatever you need to do, but you're dealing with China wouldn't bother me at all.
It is something that we have to do in any case.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Mr. President, do you support the Justice Department seeking a new interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, and did you urge the Attorney General to seek one?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General is reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about
She
it,
has
but
that.
I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do. Yeah.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, who's your former attorney, would be conducting the interview, given your
No,
past relationship?
He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that.
Oh my God. All right, B. There's number 2. So this part might be a little bit hard to take as well. I just want to fucking jump out my fucking window. I swear to God. No idea what's going on, but it seems appropriate.
Too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about.
Hear that? We're gonna go back. I try not to go back so far this time. Trump said it's a witch hunt, and the witch hunt that he should be talking about is the Obama witch hunt. How many times can you? I mean, sometime, like I said, I gave him credit. Gave him a break a minute ago. It was just purely a slip up when he said he should raise the rates. This isn't a slip. This is a Freudian slip.
He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold.
So he just called the Obama investigation a witch hunt.
Tulsi Gabbard, what they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences.
That's not at all what the ODNI report or briefing on the website there. I should probably get that site for you guys, or that link for you guys. That's not at all what Tulsi said at all, that it was interfering in the election. This was all this shit, which is exactly what it is, as I know you guys know, so I'm not trying to talk down to you, was post-election.
Consequences for that. When we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible.
So he said when they caught Hillary Clinton, and that was something that a lot of us hammered down on too. It's like, all right, Mr. President, in 2017, you're Mr. Trump, you're president now. So all of a sudden the fucking Hillary Clinton investigation and charges and all treason and all that bullshit went away. And the Trumpers are like, all right, okay, that's fine. We got our guy in. Good enough. Mr. President Trump, Daddy Trump knows best, right? Seriously. Like, I was pissed again last night about fucking Garland dropping the ball. And still, it's like really sketchy shit. Is it not? I mean, it was like too easy to fucking just kind of blow Garland off as maybe a very smart and informed man, but he was quiet, demeanor sort of, and maybe just no balls. So I'm pissed about that shit. That's not, he really fucking dropped the fucking ball with charging Trump, getting the fucking getting the case going with all the insurrection bullshit. So here Trump just, again, 2017, blowing off HRC, the investigation, and all her absolutely horrific crimes. But now they're going to get her. Oh, by the way, are her and Bill divorced? Did I miss that, you guys? I mean, I could have, because that's about how many fucks I have to give about entertainment news, but why? I mean, it was really odd. It wasn't. It just wasn't a joking way. He's clearly sounded like he thought that Bill and Hillary are divorced.
Very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people.
Woo, doggy. So after what they did to him, which it would have been nice, in fact, it would have been absolutely fucking pure gold if he would had given some sort of explanation about who they are and what they did to him. But he's like, it's just kind of a quick afterthought. Well, right or wrong, we're going after them. Kind of like the when you're a star, you can do whatever you want. It's been going on for millions of years, fortunately or unfortunately, right? Movie stars, rock stars for millions of years have been doing whatever the fuck they want to women or people in general. Fortunately or unfortunately. And so here, after all that they did to Trump, he's going to go after Hillary Clinton, whether it's right or wrong. So he just, again, said that he is instructing the weaponization of the Department of Justice. What am I missing? Come on, somebody be the devil's advocate. Give me the best case scenario for what he just said.
But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper.
It's not a group, but so far, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Andrew McCabe, Adam Schiff, and I'm sure are all under investigation. I mean, these are, public statements from Trump.
Papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about...
Again, this was all about his deputy attorney general going in, which is Trump's former personal attorney, going to visit in Maxwell in prison there. Forgive me. I had another thought. I'm sure it'll come to me. Let's listen.
Mr. President, Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama.
Oh, yeah, real quick. So, what was it? The Elena Haba. We'll get into that
He
story.
started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up that came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful.
It's not even like a, yeah, I realized that I'm just kind of going off on something a second, but this is a nice office, is it not? So anyways, back to the real, I mean, he's just like, look, seriously, what in the fuck is wrong with you people following this prick?
We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they... Look, he's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say... let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty.
Of what? What's he guilty of? In fact, TV isn't all that great on, like, you know, all when you break down laws like what did Obama somehow overstep his legal reach within the his position in the executive branch. I mean, and I don't know. The one defense I seen from one dingbat was that this occurred after the election, and it's like, well, was Obama still in office or was he not? And I seen one Trumper say he was. I seen another Trumper say this happened after January 20th, 2017. And I'm like, you guys don't fucking see exactly how absolutely nuts you are.
This was treason. This was every word.
Honestly, I don't think Trump understands what the charges are going to mean or consist of, right? Like he just thinks that he just has it in his mind that Obama created a bunch of false documents and information about Trump's collusion with Russia, and that is criminal.
You can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what...
Remember when they had all the documents for the election fraud for 2020? Well, what was it? Let me quote Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. We have a lot of ideas, but very, very little evidence or no evidence. We have a lot of concepts, but no evidence.
Tulsi told me she's got thousands of additional documents coming.
Yeah, and last week Pam Bondi had thousands of papers on her desk relating to the Epstein case, and now all of a sudden they're gone. So
President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. The one thing they weren't able to do was and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is...
Just a reminder, if you look at the ODNI report, it clearly states that the Republican-led investigation found that, without a doubt, Russia interfered in the 2016 elections. Just another reminder, the chair of that investigation, that committee, was our Secretary of State.
The press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, an admitted fraud.
Who admitted that that was fraud? See the desperation? He's getting worked up, guys.
He paid $12 million and the Democrats for that report to a wise guy named Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after.
Okay, he lost me there. I'm being honest. I couldn't follow his bullshit there. I don't know what he meant.
The election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or something.
So Trump is bitching that he won. Trump said, I won, but if that report had been released before the election, I would have won. I would have super won.
Somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only.
I would say that's complete bullshit considering he lost the 2020 election and didn't really kill it in the 2024 election, right? I mean, folks had a lot of time to mull all this over. Yeah, am I right?
This, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit, we can't put this in. And neither could any other paper. Wall Street Journal's a lousy paper, very, very dishonest paper. As you see,
well, I don't know. I guess dishonest is debatable, right? I mean, are you angry? I would just straight out ask Trump, you said the Wall Street Journal is a dishonest paper. Mr. President, can you tell me, 100% clarity one way or the other? Do you feel that way about the Wall Street Journal because they helped show that you were good buddies and helped Epstein traffic children? I mean, why not? Why not just ask him if Mar-a-Lago was used for Elaine Giswell to Ghislaine Maxwell to recruit victims. Mr. President, was Mar-a-Lago used by Maxwell to recruit victims for you and Epstein to abuse? Why not? So you get fucking thrown out.
I'm suing them for a lot of money because they do things very badly. It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper, and it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I called it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish.
He has names for everything.
Shit. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election, and frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was...
Well, you won, you dumbass, so I'm not really sure what your fucking gripe is. Not to mention, there was apparently no crimes committed, you fucking dumbass. So anyways, keep it going, dude. You're doing good. Not a lot of talk about Epstein so far this presser.
It's a big thing. No, we caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones, and then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice. They're all there.
Thousands. Liberals.
The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way. And it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So you ought to take a look at that and stop talking about nonsense, because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race. And the 2020 race was rigged, and it was a rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country. We had inflation. We solved the inflation problem.
Oh, I think this is another really good one. So anyways, of course, he just continues to hammer down on the bullshit that a whole lot of motherfuckers that worked for him went to court for to save their own ass, right? He just keeps hammering down on this bullshit that the 2020 election was rigged, and there's no fucking consequences. Meanwhile, tons of people have went through some things, right, by saying the exact same thing in this dirty little bugger.
But millions and millions of people came into our country because of that. And people that shouldn't have been, people from gangs and from jails and from mental institutions.
Like he said a couple weeks ago, they rolled these folks up in buses right up to our southern border. China and, North Korea and many countries in the Middle East and El Salvador and Guatemala and Mexico, right? Colombia, they rolled them, they bust them. The governments of these countries bust these criminals, folks with mental issues, murderers, gang members. The government of the countries these folks were from, they bust them right to our border. I swear to fucking God, you guys, go back and look. I'm not exaggerating at all. He said in a presser 2 weeks ago that the governments of these countries bust them right to our fucking border and said, get off and don't come back or we'll kill you. You can look it up. TV can get wound up sometimes. He said exactly that. They bust them to our border, southern border, told them to get off, and if you come back, we'll kill you.
People that we don't want in our country, people that we're getting out, dangerous people. 11,888 murderers, many of them 50%, more than 50%, murdered more than one person. I hate to say this with such a distinguished guest, but they asked me a question. I got to answer the question. No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him, and so was Sleepy Joe Biden, and so were the rest of them. Comey, Clapper, the whole group. And they tried to rig an election, and they got caught. And then,
well, I don't know. What do you mean they got caught?
They did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won.
That wasn't a landslide. We have a fucked up system now with the electoral college.
The popular vote. But I won that all the same way in 2020. And look at the damage that was caused.
How crucial is the ammunition hub and how crucial is the ammunition hub that the U.S. plans to build in Subic and the Luzon corridor, considering that these will be built in areas that hosts strategic ports as well as military air bases?
You're talking ammunition?
Yes, the U.S. House Congressional Committee on Appropriations approved a budget.
What's very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't have approved it.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We need ammunition. We're going to end up in a few months, we'll have more ammunition than any country has ever had. We're going to have more missiles than any country has ever had. We're going to have all the speedy missiles. We'll have the speedy ones, the slow ones, the accurate ones, the ones that are slightly less accurate. We have everything. But we will have more ammunition than any country has ever had. It's very important to me.
And how
Go ahead, please, Red.
Sir, when you say that you're close to making a trade deal, what gaps remain? And for President Marcos, sir, I was just wondering, do you not think that perhaps the Philippines hosting U.S. missile systems could be considered escalatory by China, especially because they can strike deep into mainland China? Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be with this gentleman. I've known him, and I've known his family, actually, but I've known him. And I assume you're from the Philippines? Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
That's good. You're very lucky to be from the Philippines. It's a great place. But we're going to have a very good relationship. I mean, I know you had some problems with another president, and it was not your fault. It was the president's fault. And the country was maybe tilting toward China, but we untilted it very, very quickly. But you know, you had a country that was tilting toward China for a period of time, and I just don't think that would have been good for you. You can deal with China, you should deal with China, but when I got elected, everything changed, and they came right back to us.
President Trump, could
My
you
question
consider
is
extending
President
the
Marcos.
office?
Sorry,
Say it
one
again.
question
Yeah,
for
Brian, go
President
ahead.
Oh, Mr. President, I just wanted to piggyback off the
Sorry, I have
housing.
a question to President Marcos.
I'll let
Yes,
defer
yes.
on that.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
It was about whether having U.S. missiles hosted in the Philippines could be considered escalatory by China.
All of the what we consider part of the modernization of the Philippine military is really as a response to the circumstances that surround the situation around the South China Sea and now what we used to refer to as Asia Pacific, which we have expanded now to the Indo-Pacific. And if we would certainly, like in any kind of military spending, we would wish that it wasn't necessary, but it is. And so that is what we are doing. And as an adjunct to the question about the ammunition production, this is actually the United States is assisting the Philippines in what we call our self-reliance defense program, which is to allow us to be self-reliant and to be able to stand our own 2 feet, whatever the circumstances that occur in the future. And that the reason that we have encouraged more is with all our neighboring countries and even countries. And so this is an ongoing process. And again, I will.
I know. Someone in the room is given coherent thoughts.
Stress the point that we do this because we feel it is necessary.
Don't forget, just as tantamount to what you're asking, the Philippines were loaded up with ISIS and a lot of terrorists, and they were at a very, very dangerous point. And during my administration, we went in and we wiped them out.
Real quick, I did bring up. I hope I still have it. An AP article. AP fact check. Trump didn't save the Philippines from ISIS. U.S. President Donald Trump contended that the United States saved the entire Philippines from Islamic State terrorists. His assertion vastly overstated both the threat ISIS posed to the country and what the U.S. did about it. His statement, the facts, and the backstory. Trump, we helped them defeat ISIS, but if you go back 3 years ago when ISIS was overrun, and this is, 2020. 3 years ago, ISIS was overrunning the Philippines. We came in and literally single-handedly were able to save them from the vicious attacks on their island. The Philippines were not overrun by the ISIS group.
Working with the Philippines, but we wiped them out. But if we didn't go in, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know who would be your president right now. But we spent a lot of time and a lot of talent on going into the Philippines and wiping out terrorists. They had a tremendous problem during my administration. And we cleaned it up, we got them out, and now you really have a good, solid country again.
I believe so, yes.
How can you
Mr. President, I want to follow up on the housing question.
Yeah.
You've got no
Just a side note, the Philippines is kind of a disaster.
tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. How important is it we have no tax on home sales, capital gains, to unleash the housing market in this country?
Well, we're thinking about that, but would also unleash it just by lowering the interest rates. If the Fed would lower the rates, we wouldn't even have to do that. But we are thinking about.
That doesn't change the fact that these huge fucking investment companies are buying up houses and driving the costs up just ridiculously, right?
No tax on capital gains on houses. And very impressed that you asked that question because nobody knew that.
Well,
how did you find that out? That's very.
I wonder why there's I'm very close.
There's a leaker. There's a leaker.
I've also got a question. I find it a very interesting world that we know more about two people at a Coldplay concert just hours after that viral video than we know of Thomas Crooks 1 year after attempting to assassinate you. What is holding back the investigation on Thomas Crooks?
Well, they've reported to me and they've told me things, and they really say they haven't found anything that was abnormal. I would say this: the Secret Service was very brave because they were right there and they jumped on me. They made a mistake. They should have had somebody on that roof, and they should have had communication with the local police, who also, I mean, they did a very good job, but they made some mistakes, and we have a whole different group of people now. I don't think anything can happen, but I think we have the best people anywhere in the world right now, and I think they've learned. And they went into him very, in great detail. They gave me the whole thing, and what can I do? They say that it was just a nut job that was looking
A Trump supporter, so I agree. It was a nut job.
to do this, and I spoke with the FBI, the new FBI. I spoke to the FBI, who was the old FBI. I wouldn't have believed a thing they said, because the old FBI under Comey was crooked as hell. He was one of the most crooked. Everybody should read the Horowitz report. Unfortunately, Bill Barr didn't use it. But the Horowitz report, not appointed by me, it was a report on Comey and the FBI. It is one of the worst shots at a human being I think I've ever seen. In fact, the New York Times did an editorial that was one of the worst editorials I've ever seen about anybody. That was about Comey. You ought to go back and get, and Barr didn't use it because he didn't have the guts to use it, or something happened. I don't know. Too bad.
That's hilarious, right? Just fucking chewing up Bill Free Taco Bar. I love it. I love it. You're a fucking schmuck, Bill Barr. You know that, right? You're a fucking dickweed, just like that fucking mustache walrus prick that pretends to care, and all the other fuck sticks that are sitting back quietly.
He went to Mr. Durham. Instead of doing the Durham, all they had to use is the Horowitz report. And I always felt badly for Horowitz, frankly, because he's a Democrat, I guess. He was appointed by a Democrat. But that report has gotten lost, and it shouldn't be lost. You should all go back. It should be mandatory reading. Go back and read the Horowitz report on Comey and his cronies. And you'll see exactly. We're going to add that to all the stuff that we found. It just confirms it.
What do you mean, all the stuff we found? Who is, again, did the weaponization of the DOJ end with Trump's inauguration or nah?
But what we found is even more so. Now, we found absolute, this isn't like evidence, this is like proof, irrefutable proof that Obama was seditious, that Obama was trying to lead a coup, and was with Hillary Clinton, with all these other people, but Obama headed it up. And, I get a kick when I hear everyone talks about people I never even heard of. It was this one. No. It was Obama. He headed it up. And it says so right in the papers. Got everything. This is the biggest scandal in the history of our country. And it really goes on to even the auto pen, because it all relates to the same thing. It all started, the same sick minds. You have an auto pen, which is a tremendous...
It's all connected, you guys. All connected. The auto pen is in on the conspiracy to, stage a coup against Trump's 2016 election win.
We don't have a president. We have an auto pen that signs everything. I'll bet you sign everything. You don't have auto pens. Everybody. Who doesn't sign? You're the president of a country. But it's all that whole thing leading right up to the end of it is the auto pen. And the auto pen was used by people, and Biden knew nothing about it. They were signing documents that he...
Look at the fucking absolute fury in this person's eyes. Man. I don't know, you guys. Some dangerous shit right there. The leader of our country. A complete maniac. Just undeniable fucking maniac.
He knew nothing about. As an example, they released the Unselect Committee of Liability. The Unselect Committee spent 2 years grilling everybody, and then they destroyed all the evidence. You know why? Because the evidence made them guilty, and he gave them all a pardon. The Cheney, all the scum that was on the Unselect Committee, crying at him.
What the fuck is he talking about? He just fucking morphed into the... I didn't catch this earlier either. He morphed into the J6 hearings and investigation. I didn't catch, the Unselect Committee thing didn't sink in because he just is a rambling fucking maniac, right? Like the committee destroyed all the J6 evidence because they knew that it showed that they were guilty of the coup.
Kinzinger and Democrats, and he gave them a pardon. Do you have something else? Go ahead.
I was just going to add one more thing on Adam Schiff. Director Pulte reports that Adam Schiff claims he lived in a one-bedroom apartment. Now, how does a family of four, and you're a developer, very successful developer, how does a family of four live in a one-bedroom apartment?
No, it looks like Adam Schiff really did a bad thing. They have him. Now, let's see what happens. It's not up to me. It's not up to... I stay out of it purposely. But it's mortgage loan fraud. It's a big deal. He defrauded banks and insurance companies.
Can you guys remind me of what Trump was convicted on 34 felony accounts for?
In the federal government. But it's very simple. It's mortgage loan fraud. And you're right. It's a lot of people to live in a one-bedroom apartment, right? But he put it down. But he has a lot of other things far worse than that. So, no, Adam Schiff, they have him 100% on mortgage fraud. Now, if there's anybody else in this room except you would have no problem. But anybody else in this room, you'd have a problem. I'd have a problem.
You did have a problem. You were convicted of basically falsifying records for the purposes of mortgage loans, right?
Yesterday in the Harvard case, would you allow Harvard to get their federal dollars back as a part of any agreement with the administration?
No, I'm not giving. Harvard's been given $7 billion. Can you believe it? By the $7 billion, and we want money to go to all universities, not Harvard. Harvard got more than anybody else. They have $52 billion. They get huge tax incentives and tax breaks on that $52 billion. But they have $52 billion, and they got $7 billion over a short period of time. And we have a very hostile judge appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, a very, very hostile judge who knows exactly right from wrong. But we expect to win it on appeal. She hasn't given a decision yet, but she's very hostile, and she was put by Barack Hussein Obama. And generally speaking, anybody that does that, we're going to have problems with. So we don't expect to have. We won the case yesterday. Anybody that was there, that was a neutral, would say we easily won the case. But a lot of the case, and a big part of it's going to be how much money Harvard gets in the future. That's not part of the case, and they're not going to get very much.
Mr. President, where are we in terms of negotiating about the reciprocal tariff? How far are we?
With who?
With the Philippines. Yes, sir. How far
are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir. I'm from the Philippines. How far are we from achieving?
Well, it's tough. He's a very tough negotiator. So far, we're not there because he's negotiating too tough. In fact, I used to like him better than I do now. He's too tough. But we'll probably agree to something. But he's a strong negotiator. He loves your country.
Mr. President,
When are you coming to the
No,
Philippines,
please.
sir?
You talked a lot about the severe consequences that those who are involved in the Russia hoax must face. In your view, sir, what are the next steps now that these documents are out there?
Well, the Justice Department would have to act. and we have a very competent, very good, very loyal to our country person in Pam Bondi, very respected, and it's going to be her decision.
Just a follow-up to that, sir. Chrissy Nome is in New York City visiting an off-duty CBP officer who was allegedly shot this weekend by an illegal alien who came into the country during the previous administration.
Right.
What is your message to any local leaders who continue to push sanctuary city policies after this nearly tragic incident?
So the only thing I don't understand, because you like to understand things and we're all smart people and all, but why would they allow 21 million people into our country, unvetted, unchecked? You don't allow it. You wouldn't allow people then. He's tough. No, the country's run properly. Biden and his group of thugs, and I don't think it was Biden, I think it was the people that surrounded that beautiful Resolute desk right behind you. They allowed 21 million people, probably much more than that, and many of them came from jails and gangs and drug dealers and mental institutions, insane asylums. Many of them are very sick. 21 million, probably 25 million, probably even more than that. And we're getting them out. Many were murderers, as I said. They killed people. Many killed more than one person. Stone cold murders. I don't understand why they would have allowed that. There's only two reasons. The vote. Is there one voters? It's one reason. I don't think they would have done it for that because they cheat. You know, they're so good at cheating, they don't need that. But the vote, and the second reason is they hate our country. I think they hate our country. I actually do. And it's the biggest problem. I mean, much of our time is spent with, you know, we have the strongest border anywhere in the world now. Maybe even stronger than your border, if you can believe it. We have no people came in last month, zero, which is pretty amazing. I'm not even sure I can believe that. But liberals are the ones that do that calculation. So, but we had no people come in. A year ago, we had hundreds of thousands of people come in. Hundreds of thousands of people. And they flowed in. And if it wasn't for the election, it would have been millions of people came in last year. So millions of people prior to election time, they allowed millions and millions of people to come into our, I mean, you saw it. They'd open the gates. If you took an Alabama LSU football game that holds 100.
All right, you guys, we're almost through it. This is the last little comment, just another minute. But it ends pretty good. So Trump is going on about some illegal crossing numbers here. It's fucking grand.
128,000 people. I was there. 128,000 people, and I liked them and they liked me. But if you took that and doubled it, that's what used to flow into our country on a daily basis.
So he said an Alabama football game can hold 128,000 people, and if you took that number and doubled it, which TV just pulled up his calculator and did so, he said that's what was coming into our country on a daily basis. So if you take the 128,000 Alabama fans, double it, 256,000, that's what came into our country on a daily basis during the Biden administration. You guys know what the total on that is? In 4 years, that would be 53,248,000 people. 53,248,000 people. Well, let's just go ahead and stick with what Trump was saying. So far today, he has deported about 80,000. And there's, the last time I checked, late last week was 59,000 folks in detention centers. Just whatever.
It's not even believable.
All right.
And we're getting them out, and we're starting with.
It's not believable. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Please keep up the Oval Office pressers. That was fucking absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So anyway, B, you got 2. You didn't get 3. There was 2 points that pissed TV off pretty good, but. Yeah, this shit, I know, you guys, like, that shit's easy, right? It's pretty, I mean, you would think that a Trumper could just take a presser like that and, it's kind of like phoning it in, tearing that shit apart. Just insane. Just insane. I am, I don't know what to say. I really don't. If there's anything that I might have been slightly disappointed about in the presser is that he didn't get more irate. I mean, he has to be going. They have to have him doped up, I would think, right? As much as he'll fucking take or whatever. Like, he has to be. I mean, I'm sure most of the folks around him are encouraging him to be sedated thoroughly before shit like that, right? I mean, because he's not going to sound any more wackier by being fucking stoned off his fucking ass, but he'd be a lot less irate. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have much more to add to that, honestly. It's it's just more obvious bullshit, right? Just a big old fucking big old basket of what the fuck. MAGA math, yeah. And they don't, Bill, and it's not like, I get it. I'm fully aware that I'm just really, not even picking low-hanging fruit. Like, I'm just picking up rotten fruit off the ground, right? It's that fucking easy. But yeah, those aren't just like misquotes or, misspeaking, right? Seriously, like he took the time in his fucking completely fucking softened tater to determine what the Alabama or wherever, what was it, Alabama, LSU, I don't know, what the fucking crowd attendance levels are there. Multiply it by 2, you know what I mean? Because 128,000 people a day wasn't enough, right? Because that would have only been like, 53 million? That would have only been like, whatever, 26.5 million people. So he had to times it by 2, right? You take all the motherfucking people that going to be seeing that football game, multiply that by 2, and that's how many crooked Joe Biden let in the country on a daily basis. All right, you guys. I've been sitting here for a minute. I appreciate you folks. There's just no doubt about it. I'm going to do a real quick BRB. I don't need to make a cocktail, so if you haven't, hit that thumbs up or down. Share with those you love and those you don't. Remind Trumpers that TV's over here, letting them know what's up. All right. I'll be right back, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in a minute. All right, folks, I'm back. Just like that, just like that. One of these days I'll put a commercial together since the kid has his business all official and legit. Just for funsies, because I don't think there's too many folks from West Michigan watching, but you never know. Maybe one or two. So I was trying to, what was it? Elena Haba's temporary post was had expired, and the 17 circuit court judges had voted to not allow her to be, appointed to the position permanently or even extend her temporary post there. Gosh darn it, I just lost it. There we go. So they did appoint her deputy and then Pam Bondi removed him as well. So I'm sorry, I was trying to yap and read something. See this, I'll just say straight up, this I don't know about this. I mean, for sure these quotes are I'm sure are pretty accurate, but it's just there's all kinds of fucking internet, like digital rags, right? Says then arrest him, critics.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's a
Then arrest him. Critics called Trump's bluff over desperate Obama deflection. So critics of President Trump called out his attempt to deflect mounting controversy surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein files at Tuesday Oval Office meeting with the President of the Philippines. Following Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard's claim, and we read her whole, I was a little surprised that it was such a short statement by Gabbard. I mean, part of it was official, and then the last half of it was, her actual quote about all the I guess the first part where it was just more straightforward factual outline of the information handed over to the DOJ, not in detail, of course, but and then her statement, regarding the release or the recommendation to the DOJ. So that former President Barack Obama manufactured, again, this is just the Trumpers aren't picking up on this, and I'm really pissy about the media too, even though there probably isn't much liberal media around Trump anymore who's able to get a question in edgewise, right? But still, I don't think that's I'm not fucking making excuses for him. Like I said, I mean, people are being, journalists are being removed all the fucking time. Why not just, would I want to be fired? Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm just an asshole because I live within my means and my means are pretty minimal. You know what I mean? But I don't get it. When are we gonna, or am I just being a fucking drama queen? Are we not? None of this is serious enough for me to suggest that law enforcement, people, wherever you are, if you're asked to do something that you don't think is right, if you have to stop for any length of time at all and dwell on it, if you have to go back and forth with yourself about what is right or wrong for you to do, you already know the right answer. Honestly. I've said to myself so many times in my life, as maybe some of you guys have, and I can't speak for you in this way. Maybe, maybe I struggled more than most. I don't know that I did, but I've said to myself many times, this is the right choice to make at this moment, and this isn't. And I've went ahead and not made the right choice anyways. But that's what it comes down to. If you have to spend any time at all trying to decide between what is right and unfortunately maybe keeping your livelihood, your income, I'm not marginalizing that, how important that is. But if you are sitting there going back and forth with yourself, you already know what the right answer is. You already know what the right answer is. And so I think, to get back, hopefully, to some sort of coherent statement, journalists need to be calling this. Again, maybe there isn't many liberal journalists around or independent journalists allowed around Trump anymore. I don't know, but when they are, because I don't have any faith. Sure, right-wing journalism or conservative journalists should be calling them out on the shit too, but I don't have a lot of expectations in that way. So it's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, and it's, maybe again I'm hammering down on just really obvious redundant shit, or maybe it doesn't even seem relevant to some of you guys, but I think I keep bringing up every once in a while my conversation with Mighty in 2018, 2019. I'm like, Trump's team is doing nothing but redefining the English language. And do we not see that every fucking day with Trumpers? I mean, what they consider a patriot is a prime example, right? So they're just, nobody points out that it's this kind of fucking propaganda, lack of substance when they use words, which are key words in her statement, manufactured. What the fuck? What are you talking about? And of course, we won't ever see. So when all this shit fails to produce anything against Obama, the excuse will be we never got to see what the details of this so-called evidence by Director Gabbard. So, Laura and Stephanie, what's in the house, lady? Or what's up, ladies? Laura and Stephanie in the house. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. All my soul to the company store. No, St. Peter, don't you be late. Take that key and unlock that gate. B says Trump's power and the rule of law, full documentary Frontline. I already watched that, sister. Frontline is fucking groove styling. Yeah, I love that shit. DW too, B. DW does a lot of good documentaries. There's one I started watching the other night on the rise of white supremacy or far-right hate groups and shit. And I couldn't. It was like, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning or something. I started watching. I'm like, this is really depressing and heartbreaking already. And then I seen it again today. It popped up and I noticed that it was already, 5 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't watch. I'm still not ready to watch this shit. That was kind of exhausting. All I want to do is chew some gum. I got a feeling. Yeah, B, I don't know. I think all of us pretty much realize that, like, all these, individual just each one of these, and there's tons of them, right? All this bullshit every day almost, right? Just the list is long. And I mentioned this not too long ago that it's like, maybe sometimes we try to fool ourselves and say that, we haven't become blinded to it. But I still feel like even those of us who really understand and give a shit, we have become desensitized. I don't know how it's possible that we haven't become desensitized to Trump's madness in some way, right? Like, rather we are just, our minds are processing it as best we can as humans and blocking out whatever parts of it we need to for our own safety and sanity. As horrific and poignant as all that shit is, it's really fucking... I just cannot stop thinking about the people, the masses that are supporting him. That's not going away when Trump does. We could have the most revealing, incredibly incredible justice outcome that anybody could dream of, right? You guys go through it, whatever you guys think, right? Impeachment, removal, back on fucking trial for, immunity, the bullshit presidential immunity removed. Like, just the most insane outcome now at this point that you guys could insane. Just, the outcome that we thought that we just all took for granted. Like, for fuck's sake, no matter how bad politics and how dirty it gets, we can stand on our fucking Constitution, our Supreme Court, right? And we've seen that we can't. And that sucks. But so you take your biggest, best fantasy about, you know, what is right happening. And we are still left with the people that are supporting this fucker. You know, we're still left with the fuel that drives that absolutely demented engine. Hitler was just a short, angry guy without really gullible, tired, angry, desperate people to follow him. They didn't go away. These Trumpers aren't going away when Trump does. And I just wonder how all that's going to go. I wonder how it's going to morph for the 2028 elections. And hell, who knows? We could still be looking at some sort of nutty ass fucking, you know, movement in Congress to let Trump run for a third term. Who knows? I I posted the writ by Black Sabbath earlier. That's a fucking good man. You know, it wasn't until just maybe 10 years ago or something that I started really paying more attention to Sabbath's first couple albums. The shit's ridiculous. I mean, Ozzy was an amazing singer. He was just fucking amazing. Are you metal? Are you man? You changed your life since it began. Rats. Yeah, I thought about getting off on some of that, like, you know, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage, Volume 4, and of course, Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath. Whew. Really fucking crazy good vocals. Just insane shit. Like I said, the writ, oh my God, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this was one that, like, he's a character, you know. It's weird, like, I feel like, you know, Ozzy, whatever, we're all humans, right? Fucking amazing performer. A super true artist, tortured artist, you know, suffered a lot, caused a lot of suffering, but he couldn't have lived any other way, right? Like, in those you who are musicians or artists get it, like, it just, it's like you love art so much, whatever it is, whatever medium it is, but it's not fun most of the time, right? I don't know, not for me. As much as I love it, right? Like it's very difficult being an artist, and not comparing myself or you guys to Ozzy, even though I don't think at the base level there's any difference. It drove him. It's what he had to be able to breathe. Like he would have been suffocated if he was not able to perform and do what he did. And it was it's not like a single process or act. There's a lot of shit that went along with that for him, and that's drugs and alcohol and sex and being crazy and really just and I don't know. I don't think I've watched a lot of Ozzy shit. I don't know if I've ever heard him say this, but like for me it's just always been I just always wanted to enjoy myself and see people around me enjoy themselves, and that's not a healthy way to live. If that's how, you got to have downtime, and downtime is can be boring and depressing and taxing, right? It is for me. Being up is exhausting, being down is taxing. Yeah, right on. Jay says those times had rules that needed breaking. I'm very thankful I got to see Ozzy on the No More Tears tour with the Wild Man, Zach Wild. I mean, I was not the hugest Sabbath or Ozzy fan. I mean, of course, I loved listening to his and their shit. But like, I don't know. I'm so sick. Like, I cannot stand to listen to stuff like Iron Man and Paranoid and War Pigs, and I just can't. I just really took for myself. I really took notice of how much how I just didn't fucking pay attention enough. Even though Led Zeppelin being my favorite band and Plant having that fucking insane voice, right? And it's not that I didn't appreciate Ozzy, it's just I did not realize, like, those first few Sabbath albums, you can't, there's nobody's mimicking that shit. Nobody's singing like that. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. My throat hurts just listening to it. Laura says Iron Man was purple, not Ozzy. What do you mean purple? Deep purple? I don't understand that. B says she remembers sex. Yeah, Deep Purple. Deep Purple wrote that song, Iron Man? I did not know that. That's crazy. Are you metal? Are you man? You changed your life since you began. Wow. Wow. I should end the stream with some of that. I'll have to go back and mute it. Jay, are you already familiar? I know you've heard the tune, but are you already familiar with the fucking? Are you hearing the writ in your head? I'm loving the fucking tribal shit, dude. I'm not even joking about that crap. I've been on such a like kind of world music or African beats, the Arabian shit. All right, you guys have wasted another perfectly good 2 hours and 8 minutes. I appreciate you. This was a pretty fun one. And I think I did okay on keeping the F-bombs to a minimum. I'm just, I gotta settle down a little bit. And you guys, I could have sat here and not said anything or been honest or open about some of the shit that pisses me off, right? Because I don't want the fucking Trumpers to think I don't have any self-control. Shouldn't be angry about a child molester being in the Oval Office spewing a lot of fucking crazy fucking bullshit about law and order and this and that. I was signing off, wasn't I? I appreciate you. Mrs. V appreciate you. And you guys know I'll see you soon, all right? I love you. Be good. Peace and love. TV2 out. Here's a little bit for the madman. Rest in peace, Ozzy.